The origins of Yahweh, the God of the Israelites, are shrouded in mystery. Unlike many ancient deities with well-documented lineages and myths, Yahweh's early history remains frustratingly elusive. This enigmatic figure emerged from the crucible of ancient Canaan, a land teeming with diverse cultures and religious beliefs. Understanding Yahweh's beginnings requires delving into this complex world where gods battled for supremacy and religious landscapes constantly shifted. Yahweh's name itself is a puzzle, its meaning debated among scholars for centuries. Some see it as a derivation of the Hebrew verb to be, suggesting existence itself. Others link it to ancient storm deities, pointing to Yahweh's early association with the raw power of nature. What is clear is that Yahweh's story is not one of sudden revelation, but rather a gradual evolution shaped by cultural exchange, political upheaval, and the evolving beliefs of the Israelites themselves. The mists of time have obscured much of Yahweh's early life. However, by piecing together archaeological evidence, textual analysis, and comparative religion, we can begin to reconstruct the fascinating journey of this deity. From obscure beginnings to becoming the sole god of a monotheistic faith, Yahweh's story offers a unique window into the development of ancient religions and the enduring power of belief. Yahweh first appears in historical records around the 12th century BCE, a tumultuous period marked by the rise and fall of empires. He emerges in a region steeped in polytheism, where gods like Baal, El, and Asherah were worshipped. Early depictions of Yahweh associate him with the awe-inspiring forces of nature, particularly storms and earthquakes. Like other storm gods of the ancient Near East, Yahweh commanded thunder and lightning, bringing both life-giving rain and destructive floods. This association with the natural world, both benevolent and fearsome, instilled both reverence and trepidation in his early followers. Yahweh was not merely a distant sky god, however. He was also a god of war, leading the Israelites in battle and granting them victory over their enemies. This martial aspect of Yahweh is evident in early Israelite poetry and hymns. He is described as a man of war, a mighty warrior, and a consuming fire. This image of a powerful, active deity engaged in the affairs of humanity distinguished Yahweh from more passive deities of the surrounding cultures. Over time, Yahweh's attributes expanded, encompassing justice, righteousness, and ultimately universal sovereignty. Early Israelite religion was far from the monotheistic system later enshrined in the Bible. The Israelites, like their Canaanite neighbors, worshipped a pantheon of gods. Yahweh, while powerful, was not initially considered the sole deity. He existed within a divine council, presiding over other gods and goddesses. Evidence for this polytheistic past can be found in biblical texts themselves. References to other gods, such as Asherah, Baal, and Moloch, suggest a complex religious landscape. The biblical prohibition against worshipping other gods further implies their prior existence and importance. The journey from this polytheistic milieu to monotheism was a gradual process, driven by a complex interplay of social, political, and theological factors. The rise of Yahweh's prominence coincided with the emergence of the Israelites as a distinct cultural and political entity. As the Israelites forged a national identity, Yahweh evolved from a tribal deity into the patron god of the entire nation. This process of nationalization played a crucial role in elevating Yahweh above other gods. The association with a chosen people, destined for greatness, further solidified Yahweh's position. Central to Yahweh's rise was his association with El, the head of the Canaanite pantheon. El, whose name simply means God, was a remote, transcendent deity associated with creation and the highest heavens. He was considered the father of the gods, the ultimate source of authority and power. The process by which Yahweh merged with El is complex and debated by scholars. Some argue for a gradual absorption of El's attributes, while others suggest a more deliberate theological fusion. Regardless of the precise mechanism, the result was a significant shift in Yahweh's nature. He inherited El's cosmic significance, becoming not just a powerful storm god, but the creator and sustainer of the universe. This fusion with El had profound implications for the development of Israelite religion. Yahweh now possessed the qualities of both a personal, active God involved in human affairs and a transcendent, all-powerful deity. This unique combination laid the foundation for the later development of monotheism. With El's attributes, Yahweh transcended the limitations of other nature deities, becoming the ultimate source of all being. The transition to a full-fledged monotheistic faith gained momentum during the 8th and 7th centuries BCE with the emergence of the prophets. These charismatic figures, such as Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Amos, delivered fiery sermons denouncing the worship of other gods and proclaiming Yahweh as the one true God. The prophet's message resonated with a growing segment of Israelite society, disillusioned with the decadence and corruption they perceived in traditional Canaanite religious practices. They called for a return to a purer form of worship centered on Yahweh alone. This message was not merely about theological purity, it had profound social and ethical implications. The prophets linked the worship of Yahweh to social justice, ethical conduct, and compassion for the poor and marginalized. They condemned idolatry not just as a theological error, but as a moral failing, a betrayal of Yahweh's covenant with his chosen people. This powerful combination of religious fervor and social critique proved to be a potent force for change. The Babylonian exile in the 6th century BCE proved to be a pivotal moment in the development of Yahwism. The destruction of the temple in Jerusalem, the center of Yahweh's worship, forced the Israelites to confront the possibility that their God had abandoned them. It was during this period of profound crisis that the concept of Yahweh as the sole God of all nations took root. The prophets of the exile, such as Ezekiel and 2nd Isaiah, offered messages of hope and restoration. They proclaimed that Yahweh's power extended beyond the confines of Judah and that he would ultimately gather his scattered people. This message helped to solidify the Israelites' faith in Yahweh, even in the face of adversity. Furthermore, the absence of the physical temple led to a greater emphasis on prayer, study, and personal piety. These practices, which could be maintained even in exile, became central to Jewish identity. The Babylonian exile, while a traumatic experience, ultimately strengthened the Israelites' faith in Yahweh and paved the way for the development of Judaism as a distinct religion. The worship of Yahweh did not remain confined to the Israelites. His influence can be seen in other ancient Near Eastern religions, particularly those of the Samaritans and the early Christians. The Samaritans, who claimed descent from the northern tribes of Israel, shared the Israelites' reverence for Yahweh as the one true God. Christianity, while emerging from within Judaism, further disseminated the worship of Yahweh, albeit under the title of God the Father. The Christian understanding of God, while incorporating elements from Greek philosophy, ultimately derives from the Jewish conception of Yahweh as a loving, just, and merciful creator. The spread of Christianity throughout the Roman Empire and beyond ensured that the worship of Yahweh in its Christianized form would become one of the most influential religious forces in world history. From the Americas to Africa to Asia, billions of people have come to embrace a faith rooted in the belief in a single transcendent God, a belief that can be traced back to the ancient Israelites and their God, Yahweh. Yahweh's legacy continues to shape the moral, ethical, and spiritual landscape of the modern world. The three major Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, all trace their origins back to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The concept of a single universal God, the creator and sustainer of all that exists, remains a cornerstone of Western civilization. Yahweh's influence extends beyond the realm of formal religion. The principles of social justice, human dignity, and universal love, central to the teachings of the prophets, continue to inspire movements for social change and ethical conduct. The belief in a just and compassionate God has provided solace and hope to countless individuals throughout history. However, Yahweh's legacy is not without its complexities and challenges. The history of the Abrahamic religions is also a history of conflict, persecution, and violence. often justified in the name of the one true God. The challenge for contemporary believers is to engage with Yahweh's legacy in a critical and nuanced way, upholding the values of compassion, justice, and peace while rejecting interpretations that lead to intolerance and division. The origins of Yahweh may forever remain partially veiled in the mists of time. Yet, by exploring the historical, cultural, and religious context of his emergence, we gain a deeper appreciation for the complex journey of this enigmatic deity, from his humble beginnings as a storm god to his evolution into the sole god of a monotheistic faith. Yahweh's story offers a fascinating glimpse into the development of ancient religions and the enduring power of belief. Yahweh's legacy continues to resonate in the modern world, shaping our understanding of God, morality, and the human condition. As we grapple with the challenges of the 21st century, it is perhaps more important than ever to engage with the rich and complex history of this ancient deity, seeking wisdom, inspiration, and a renewed commitment to the values of justice, compassion, and peace that lie at the heart of the worship of Yahweh.